Here's an explanation for why we've worked the shortest number of days in the last 60 years. Everything must be fine. Everybody must just be great. Everybody must be working. Everybody must be able to afford college. The streets have to be safe. That'd be a good reason not to work if everything was just going great for the people of this country. But it's not. Poll after poll, people tell us that they're not happy with the direction of this country. Conversation after conversation that we have with our constituents, as I did during our very, very long summer break, educate us on a simple reality, which is that people are struggling more today than ever before. People and families and businesses are hurting out there. There are massive problems in this country that, as Senator Tester said, many of which have bipartisan solutions. And still, we're not working. If everything was great, if there were no problems to be solved, then maybe that schedule makes sense. But that's not what people think in this country. They know the system is rigged against them. They know that their life can be better. And they are furious, as Senator McCaskill pointed out, when they see that we aren't even trying, we aren't even attempting to solve their problems, because Republicans would rather be home than be working here in Washington. Ask the family of Stefan Strouder if everything's okay. Stefan was one of the best basketball players in the state of Florida. He was a star basketball player on his high school team. His coach said everybody wanted to be like Steph. His 19-year-old sister said no matter where he went, everybody invited him into their home like he was their own. People loved him. Stefan was killed this summer while we were on break at another mass shooting, this time in Fort Myers, Florida, at a teen party when a bunch of kids left a teen party and kids from 12 years old to 17 years old were shot. 17 kids were shot. Stefan lost his life. How about the 13 people that were shot in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the end of August? You haven't even heard about this. 13 people were shot at a party. None of them were killed, but 13 people's lives are permanently altered because of that mass shooting. Or how about what happened this summer in Chicago? 400 people were shot in Chicago in the month of August alone. Think about that. That's the worst month of shootings in Chicago's history in the last 2 decades. People lost their life like Arshel Dennis, who just was coming home to surprise his mom on her birthday before he went back to take up his junior year at St. John's University, where he was a journalism major, and he was shot while he was sitting on his front porch with a friend. He was a member of Upward Bound, a college prep program. He spent the previous summer as an ambassador mentoring other students. He wanted to help kids that he said were a lot of kids who didn't make it out like me. 4,000 people were killed in this country by guns while we were gone. For the longest break in recent memory. 401 month in Chicago. And here's what makes me so mad. I get it that this year we're not going to pass a bill increasing background checks or stopping terrorists from getting guns. We seem to have hit an end point there. But I listen to my Republican colleagues tell me all the time that, the real problem when it comes to gun violence is mental health. Now, I don't necessarily agree that that's the panacea for what ails this country when it comes to gun violence, but if you want to work on mental health, then we can. We have a bipartisan, comprehensive mental health reform bill that, like the Veterans Bill that Senator Tester referenced, passed through the Health and Education Committee unanimously, conservative Republicans, progressive Democrats supporting it, that has passed the House of Representatives and is sitting pending on the floor of the Senate. And what we're told is that we can't do a mental health reform bill, not because we don't have consensus, but because we don't have time. Bull. We have time. We had all of July and all of August We can stay here through September and October to pass a mental health reform bill that would probably pass unanimously in this chamber that would bring new mental health resources to millions of people all across this country. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I think that that's what will solve the epidemic of mass shootings in this country, but it's just one of many pieces of legislation that would make people's lives better, that has broad bipartisan consensus that we aren't doing simply because we aren't working. And so, Senator McCaskill, I thank you for putting that chart up and tweeting it out and letting the American people know that for all of the lecturing that we got from Republicans when we were in charge about not passing a budget or not moving forward on legislation that they supported, nothing is getting done right now simply because Republicans have made a choice to stop doing their job.